I'm Kata, and this is Torn City News. I believe I mentioned in a previous episode that the name change system has changed in Torn. Well, this system change, although mostly positive, did have an unintended negative consequence. Boxer, known for changing his name during holidays and doing events in his bazaar, won't be able to change his name quite as much. Although this was initially kind of an upsetting thing for him, he did end up deciding that he should be able to continue his events, just maybe not quite as many. It stinks that he won't be able to change his name for each one. That really did add a little extra thing to the events, and it was pretty fun. But I'm really glad he decided to keep going with them. I once again wanted to wish somebody a really, 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 really late birthday. I'm really bad at this, apparently. Happy birthday, Spork Monkey. It may be a month late, but I did put it in there, so it's in there. Pinkie Pie was complaining on the forums that nobody ever makes hateful videos about her. So I just wanted to put in this week's episode that I don't think Pinkie Pie is really a pony at all, and I think she doesn't even like cake. What a phony pony, for shame. Killer for Hire is living up to his name by offering to be hired to kill people. He has a thread out in the attacking forum offering his services if you want to check it out. His services include options such as bulk hospitalizations, even keeping the target in the hospital constantly, mugging, where he gives you, the customer, the money that he mugs from the target, bounty removal, but only over $1 million for each bounty, mission assistance, help with territory wars, mug protection, overseas hospitalization, and revives. Please contact him directly or visit the thread for more information. He did give me a comic as well that I thought was a rather clever way to illustrate his services. So check that out. Bad news for the card counters of Torn. Chet announced that the Blackjack deck will now be shuffled after every hand. This is especially bad luck for Relentless, who are well known for their super secret awesome strategy at Blackjack. Although they wouldn't reveal their tricks to me, believe me, I tried. Evil Duck claims to have learned all of the Relentless secrets in the 4 minutes he was in their faction. And he has announced that he will share these secrets with Torn soon if Relentless doesn't cough up enough cash to make him shut his mouth. Rumor has it that Relentless is scrambling to come up with the ransom so they aren't ruined by Evil Duck's oh-so-scary forum posts. Because that's obviously all he can do, really, is post random stuff on the forums. Since Chaining 2.0 came out and factions have been attempting larger chains, reports of broken and drop chains have been popping up. Relentless was said to have been going for their for a 5K chain to get additional respect to open up their 10K chain. But they lost that chain at 3,620, although they were able to later restart it and pull it together and break the record for respect gained during a 10K chain, which is pretty awesome. JFK had their first attempt at a 10K broken. SA had also been working on their first 10K that day. I'm not sure if that was related to JFK's chain breaking or if it was just JFK kind of brushing off the dust after not really doing a whole lot and then attempting to get back into the game. SA was only able to brag for a short time before they themselves started a chain and it was broken. From what I understand, SA had been chaining on and had been declaring multiple territory wars on Mentos and Cola, and Milk and Cookies wasn't very happy with the attacks on their subfaction. So Milk and Cookies decided to retaliate, and the fight was supposed to be just Milk and Cookies versus SA. And from what I read, it was for the most part, except for a little interference from JFK on the Milk and Cookies side. But it looks like that was squashed relatively quickly by Milk and Cookies, which is pretty awesome on their part. What did look like a promising feud was cut short when both sides agreed to terms, which was funny considering this quote from Champion that he posted. He posted, it's actually a quote from 007. It says, "There are egos and big personalities in all factions. Perhaps we are disliked because we play the game and it was designed to war and fight. We do not tiptoe around each other playing happy families." Um, this was, like I said, quoted from 007 before playing happy families and tiptoeing around milk and cookies territories, which is what Champion said in the forums. The terms that they reached were 1, neither faction will interfere with each other's bonus hits. 2, neither faction will use each other as filler factions during chains. 3, SA will stop assault on Mentos and Cola territories. And 4, to split the territories available in the area to achieve fair respect gains for both parties. I can't say whether or not the chains I mentioned above were broken on purpose or were dropped due to mistake in the factions themselves, but it did prompt a post from Crast asking if people think it's a good thing for the game or not. I personally think it's a good thing for the game, the breaking chains, because it creates conflict and gives factions another way to attack each other beyond basic warring, which increases the drama or conflict, and then in turn creates more interest. If everything is hunky-dory, the game gets stale. There needs to be feuding to keep the game competitive and interesting. Otherwise, we're stuck with ED and dude posts filling up the forums like we are right now. On a super awesome positive note, JFA 2.0 managed to finish their 5K in just 2 hours. That is absolutely amazing, and I can't get over what a great job this new faction did. Congratulations, JFA 2.0. That's awesome. Ched had some concerns about the retail bonus during the chains recently, and they were temporarily taken away from the players. Once they were brought back, it was noticed that they were changed to hospitalizations only. Chadburn recently put up a bulletin board post explaining how chaining bonuses have been changed once again and how they will continue to change. He also stated that they will be waiting until they feel that all of the issues have been ironed out before releasing the 10 or the 25K chain. The newest changes to chaining are, and I'm just going to read these off because Nash tried to explain them to me, but I still haven't really looked at them that well yet. Incremental bonuses no longer stack with other bonuses. They do, however, provide a full fair fight bonus always. This takes some of the emphasis of incremental bonus hits and simplifies them. 5 icons will now light up on the chain drop-down hit list depending on the bonuses achieved. If an incremental bonus is achieved, it overrides all 5. Faction members appearing on the hit list will now always be on the left side with the opponent on the right. Base respect gains increased to compensate. So, I mean, that's on the bulletin board. You can go take a look and read it yourself. But I will be rereading Prox's original chaining post and then rereading those updates so I can figure out what the deal is. Memento Mori and Forged Through Wrecking have combined factions to form the extremely creative named new Forged Memento faction. Most of the people that commented in the forums weren't super impressed with this new name, a lot of which were hoping for a more fitting name, like the one Boo came up with, which was Forged Through Mason's Mediocrity. Unfortunately, the faction seems to be stuck on the name it's chosen, although 4 propose that it shall be forever now known as simply Jewelry. Hopefully, Forge Memento will show that they aren't just a pretty little piece of jewelry, and they'll bring some serious competition to the game. Hopslam made a post pointing out that there are only 10 hazmat suits left in circulation and proposed a question on whether you would sell or keep one if you found one in the city. I thought this was a rather interesting discussion and was underappreciated. It was an underappreciated break from the wall of shitposting that seems to have taken over general discussion while nothing is really happening in Torn. If it wasn't for faction discussion, the forums would currently be a total wasteland. But I digress. Back to the hazmat suits. It is assumed that a lot of the hazmat suits were on fetid or multi accounts, which would explain the drop in the community of such items. Torn celebrated this year's Valentine's Day by spreading its love juice throughout the city. Valentine's Day 2018 will be now known as the Great Valentine's Day Massacre after a shipment of Ched's love juice was passed out to everyone that logged in and searched the city. The item's description was rather vague, but implied that the juice would only work on Valentine's Day. When taken, it increased speed and dexterity, plus allowed the user to make his hits using only 10 energy apiece while on the drug. It was a very cool and unexpected Valentine's Day gift. I know a lot of people use theirs already and had a great time doing so. There were also a few that stockpiled the love juice, thinking it might still work on other days of the year. And I think a lot sold theirs since the items were trading for 20 to 40 million each. Actually, I've heard reports of like 50 million too. I just stuck mine in my display because I'm basically a hoarder, so I just like to keep things. We have quite a few announcements on this month's Banhammer. I guess I haven't really been doing weeks lately. Neon Girl, who I'm pretty sure wasn't really a girl, was feted along with The Punisher for real-life harassment. They allegedly created a meme with a picture of a well-known Torn player and called him a... The picture was promptly reported and the two offending Torn citizens were placed in Fed. This issue has since basically prompted a war between multiple groups where real pictures and other real-life information has been popping up both in the game and in Discord. Which leads nicely into Sharpmid's temporary fedding and subsequent forum ban. So the story is that Sharpmid and company have been harassing Colette, Lane, and Tracy, and maybe some others, and Colette and Lane and Tracy and company were trying to get Sharpmid to stop. I'm not saying that Sharpmid is fully to blame because I've heard rumors of harassment towards him and his posse as well. But I have seen some of the things that his friends have posted about Tracy, and I don't think that she's really done a whole lot to deserve it. Lane and Colette, well, they're both relatively well known for being offensive. But anyway, so Colette, Lane, and company invited Sharpmid to Lane's server to basically threaten him into apologizing. Sharpmid decided to use this opportunity to troll the bunch, which was actually pretty funny. And then posted the recording of their Discord conversation in a forum thread in the game. I can see why staff would have put Sharpmid in Fed temporarily until a decision was made regarding the issue. The potential was definitely there for the video to be a large problem. But having seen the videos, they really were all about Torn and were recorded in a public voice channel on a public server with no expectation of privacy. In my opinion, posting the video wasn't really a whole lot different than posting a Discord screenshot. And actually, some of the Discord screenshots I've seen have been a heck of a lot more damaging. And we're allowed to post the Discord screenshots. There was talk about personal information being in the video, but I didn't see anything that seemed personal. I just saw a lot of Sharpmid baiting the people in the video into looking like idiots and succeeding nicely. In the video, Colette is heard multiple times talking about how he's going to send JFA after Sharpmid if he doesn't apologize for his past behavior. I'm not sure how that worked out since Colette is no longer in JFA, but I'm assuming it wasn't too well. I was told that the video has nothing to do with Colette leaving, so it could just be bad timing, but I guess we'll never know. Either way, I can understand the decision to forum ban, but the video was really just all about Torn with a little shit talking thrown in. I'm not going to link the videos, but any idiot with half a brain can search Sharpmid Torn and find them. The titles are a little misleading, but I can say there are 3 installments of the videos, and have fun. One interesting change that came out of this situation was that Ched changed some of the Fed messages to say that the person was temporarily in Fed instead of deleted. Well, I say some, but initially he accidentally changed all of them to say temporary Feded, even the self-Feds. This change to the Fed message is actually really good because it does make sense to throw some people in Fed until they know what's going on. And this way people might not freak out like they did when Sharpmid was thrown into Fed, thinking it was a permanent relocation. Dude is no longer forum banned. I know a lot of you guys aren't exactly thrilled about this new development. And he should be off chat ban here soon, the 20th, I believe. Some of you may know Stoner Girl from her amazing pictures or for her sending out random presents to users, but it looks like she has found herself in debt and has self-feted. I'm assuming she's restarted, although I haven't gone out of my way to really look because I don't really care that much. Nihar, or I guess that's how you pronounce his name. I always said it Nihar, but I was told it's Nihar, made a post in the forum saying he was quitting, although I just checked when I wrote this, and at that point he was once again in IBB and was active 40 minutes prior to me checking. So I'm assuming that didn't quite last as long as anticipated. I think it was like 2 weeks maybe, but who can really judge him there? I mean, we're all torn addicts here. Max Headroom pretty much looks like he did actually quit. I waited a little bit to report on that because I didn't believe that he was actually going to quit. Although when he checked yesterday, he'd been on in the past 24 hours. But I believe the time I checked before that had been like 20 days, and before that had been quite a few as well. So I think he's been a bit more successful in quitting than Nihar has, who lasted, like I said, about 2 weeks. Cam announced that he was quitting and passed out all of his stuff to friends in the game, although he's not really looking like he actually quit. When I checked today, he'd been off 2 days, but he's still in Hold Your Fire, and I would think that if you quit, you'd probably end up leaving your faction. I doubt you'd stick around in there, especially since, um, everybody's doing all their chaining and everything recently, so that would be kind of silly. Gamer Jed announced he was self-vetting and actually followed through with it. Out of the shit posters, he was one of my favorites, and I'm sad to see him go, but I'm assuming he'll be back at some point with a new account and a new name. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't just trying to ditch the reputation he made for himself and get taken a little bit more seriously. Whether he comes back or not, I salute you, Gamer Jed. Glory to the FOJ. I had announced a while back that Beeg had quit. I've been happy to see him back in Global lately, so it looks like he's basically unquit. It was also fun to see that he stopped being able to beat me up while he was gone. I wanted to add in here that I'm especially proud of my wifey, Moxie, for staying off of Chatman for like 3 weeks. You're awesome. It's been fun to actually be able to talk to you in the game. And I'm also proud of Lane for managing to stay off a ban. He's definitely proved me wrong. I fully expected him to last a week with the chats. Good job. That's all I have for today. Keep it classy, Torn. And this wink is for Nina. She is the most amazing, awesome, fantastical person in the whole wide universe. That's all I have.